Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books. Today we are talking about woke Disney's killer. That's Dan Loeb, a billionaire who spent $1 billion of the money he's investing to make sure that Disney gets their act together. And this isn't the first time he put money into Disney. He put 1 million shares into Disney just now, but he had 5.3 million shares of Disney just a couple years ago. He knows the company well. Guys like this do not put money into things without researching it first and also kind of getting the word on what he can get done from the outside. He knows what he's doing. Before we do, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications and give me a thumbs up when you like it. It's a huge help. Now, as the 2 years ago goes, Dan Loeb's Third Point LLC, that's his company, disclosed a stake of 1 million Disney shares in its quarterly filing a couple of weeks ago. That's well below the 5.3 million Third Point owned 2 years ago when it publicly campaigned, so he's done this before, for the company to be permanently suspending its dividend, its profit sharing, and put all that money into content for its streaming services, make more shows. His timing then was perfect. Disney announced a major shakeup of its corporate structure just a week later that effectively focused all of its media operations on streaming first. So that's what Dan Loeb was doing 2 years ago. I don't know what you were doing. I have to think twice to figure out what I was doing. But Dan Loeb has been, knee deep in Disney, in the politics of Disney, in the brands, in the content for years already. And, I talk to people about this and they'll say yeah, but he's not mentioning anything about the woke stuff. So maybe he doesn't want to change the woke stuff. He knows. He knows. You also can't talk about the woke stuff publicly. I can talk about it on a video. Even I have to wonder, am I going to get in trouble for talking about it on a video? Not right now. But you can't talk about it publicly. This article is from the New York Post. A Woke Mousetrap, Activist Targets Disney by Charles Gasparino. He's always on Fox Business, sometimes on Fox, whatever, talking about different business things, industry things. He's kind of like industry establishment as well. He's not like a random guy off the wall or something like that. He's plugged in. So a lot of what he says is worth checking out. So what Gasparino says particularly about it, right, is he explains, look, he's talked around to other people, and Loeb is a known activist investor. He makes things happen at companies. He's got $1 billion invested from the money that he's managing over at his company, Third Point, this Dan Loeb. $1 billion is not a big amount when it comes to the value of controlling Disney. It's not Elon Musk buying Twitter or something like that, $44 billion. However, it's enough to create a narrative. It's enough to get things done. When Dan Loeb, because this has happened before, when Dan Loeb put $1 billion into Yahoo, they changed out the CEO at Yahoo, a lot on Loeb's recommendation, and Loeb made $1 billion profit on that. So it's not like the guy doesn't know what he's doing. Another thing on Loeb, his $17.5 billion hedge fund is where they basically just collect money from investors and go do deals, push things, make things happen as activists. They used to call them green mailers back in the day, which basically is like you just make money. You hustle for money. Sometimes the company buys you out. That's like a blackmail, green mail kind of thing, just to get rid of you because you're so effective. But Dan Loeb's $3 million personal money was turned into this $17.5 billion hedge fund in 20 years. Dan's net worth is like $2.5 billion. So that's the guy that Disney is dealing with. It's not a guy off the street. People are talking about it. Another interesting aspect to this is the Wall Street Journal is doing a major article here. What's the right talent mix for Disney's board? Because Dan Loeb is challenging Disney's board, saying, hey, I don't think, and he doesn't say anything about woke, because you literally can't, doesn't matter if it's right, you're not permitted to talk about reality. You have to work around it. And Absolutely, Dan Loeb does, because Dan Loeb is challenging the status quo, pushing for more, quote, consumer-oriented media experience, which is basically to serve the customer. Consumer-oriented experience is, what are you expecting when you are buying entertainment content as a consumer? You are expecting a pleasant experience, not a subversion of expectations, not to be taught whatever the latest gender thing is going on. You're expecting that you're going to get satisfied with what it is that you wanted to buy. That slice of pizza that looks fantastic, that you remember was fantastic the last time you had it, needs to not taste like paper. It's got to be good. Walt Disney used to call Disneyland his magic kingdom. These days, Walt Disney has a new magic trick, wringing every last dollar out of each visitor to his profitable theme parks. So what is Disney doing to make money? And do you think he's fooling Dan Loeb with this? Bob Chapek has raised prices dramatically. This is another Wall Street Journal article. Dramatically at Disney parks. And you know something? Bob Chapek came from Disney parks. He was the president of Disney parks before he moved into the CEO role, positioned there really by Iger and the board. So he knows he can raise prices. So why wasn't Disney raising prices in the past like this? Why didn't they do this in the past if they could make all this extra money raising prices? Because they wanted to continue to build the brand, the experience, the frequent routine of routinely, year by year, going to Disney's theme parks. Well, when you're in the theme park and you're saying to yourself, oh, you know what? I want to buy, and I did this, I want to buy that Mickey Mouse chocolate-covered ice cream that's shaped like Mickey's head with the ears on it. That looks delicious. I'll eat that. Yes, that's fine. But now, when you go there and you find that, I don't know, maybe it's $15, $20 when it used to be $5, you're going to buy it when you're in the park because it's like, the hell with it, let's go for it. But it's like a gambling experience. Once you get home and you look at all the money you spent, you'll say, you know what, next time I'm going to go to Universal. And that's what they're citing in this Wall Street Journal article. They're citing how people are saying, okay, I really resent the nickel and diming, said David Aron, a 50-year-old gym teacher and volleyball coach from Redondo Beach, California. Mr. Aron has been a Disneyland annual pass holder for 5 years and says he visits the park more than 100 times a year, primarily because it reminds him of his best childhood friend, a Disney superfan who died of a heart attack. Well, that's sad, but is he going to keep going? Can he keep going? See, just like me, he goes to the park, he walks around for a few hours, eats ice cream, he likes ice cream, watches fireworks, and reminisces about visiting the park with his friend. But he chafes at recent changes. Previously, he could stop by Disneyland for a few hours and work any day he wanted after work. Now he can't go on the growing number of blackout days for annual pass holders. Blackout days for annual? Why are you buying an annual pass if you're not allowed to go? Chapek killed the magic. Yep. Mr. Aron is sporting a homemade t-shirt with the words Chapek killed the magic on it, a reference to Mr. Chapek, the CEO, who he blames for rising prices and other changes. Of course. So Chapek knows he can grab some extra cash flow out of these parks and cover up some of the problems in the merchandise sales, which they do have problems, and he can cover up some of potential losses or disappointments from things like the most recent Buzz Lightyear movie didn't work the way we were, by just getting some extra cash out of the parks. The problem is people are not going to continue to go to the parks. They keep doing that. He's also aggressively raising the price of Disney Plus. Even though those Disney Plus and Hulu worked out. So he keep raising the price of Hulu, raise the price of it's going to go just so far. And then you're going to hit a wall. And then once you hit a wall, you're going to start to lose people. And you're not going to grow the same way. All the people who went to Disney this year found out in the moment that ice cream costs more money than they thought it was going to cost. But they're like, I'm there already. And all the other extra upcharges, the blackout days and on the annual passes, that's going to catch up. And the year following, it's not going to be the same. And Dan Loeb knows this, and industry executives know this. And it's not something that's going to be able to continue. So there are going to be drastic changes at Disney. Disney has debt. It's not as overwhelmed by its debt as Warner Brothers Discovery is, but they're going to have their own problems at Disney, and they're going to be looking for how they're going to start to make some money. This is an interesting part of the piece from Gasparino in New York Post, where he's talking about how going through Disney's proxy statement, a type of annual report investors, including of course Loeb, pour through to understand management's priorities, their philosophy, their strategic direction, covering shareholder votes, and what it looks for in board members, the men and women who management has to report to, because the board of directors, represents the investors. That's the purpose of the board of directors. So if you have a CEO, you have CFO, major executives at the company, they don't exist without the permission of the board of directors. The board of directors is, and again, they're talking about it in the Wall Street Journal recently. These are the board of directors, whatever. It's about a dozen people. Chapek is one of them, but he's only one of them. So the board of directors has to be happy with what's going on. Well, Bob Chapek has to explain himself in comparison to Dan Loeb and everyone else that starts to jump on the bandwagon and say, something, if we could just make some changes at Disney, we could pop that stock. And it's making it go up. And it's not just seeing a stock go from whatever, X to X plus 50%. You can do a lot with options. Options would be they making essentially a bet on the stock going up. So you can get a much, much, much higher percentage return. It's riskier, but it's like a gamble. If you think that changes could be made at Disney, a lot of, the options would be very reasonable for people to purchase. Not investment advice, but I understand what I'm saying. If money people really look at this and say, something, because of this excessive focus on ESG, in the brands, in the management priorities, if we could just at least stop expanding that, the stock could start to go up. Because, and this is what Gasparino says, Loeb, in his opinion, has more than hinted at wokeness being a growth albatross for the House of Mouse. He wants more experienced board members to fill gaps in talent and expertise that he described as strengths in technology, advertising, and consumer engagement, as well as proven track records of leading large, complex organizations and creating shareholder value. This means, creating shareholder value means do stuff that makes money. That's it. Stuff that makes money. It's not about the environment. It's not about let's look at the skin color of employees or the skin color of cartoon characters. It's about if that does it, if that creates shareholder value, makes money, awesome. If it doesn't, we're not doing it. Let me know if you think that's the right approach in the comments below. I would hope that you would. But whatever you think, yes or no. So Gasparino did digging through the 2022 proxy statement, right? What did he find? With a company known for, among other things, Mickey Mouse making movies that are supposed to appeal to the so-called silent majority, middle America, like David Zaslav is supposedly doing over at Warner Brothers Discovery, they are openly bragging to investors about how they've embraced every woke fad imaginable. ESG. The proxy says management has created various initiatives to increase the diversity and wokeness, essentially, of Disney's programming. And then, you want to wonder this. Where's their research showing that all of their programs for diversity and wokeness actually generate profits, revenues, extra interest from more consumers? Where it may be happening, maybe it's going to happen in 100 years, and it's not happening now. He can't find any reports showing that the research saying that it actually works. Now, turning to the company's board members, the people that Loeb wants to kick off the board, Disney has a checklist of what it considers key attributes for board members. Members are graded on executive management, marketing, brand enhancement, and risk, but also diversity and ESG experience, neither of which are on Loeb's list. So Loeb, and again, it's not Loeb's company. All he did was invest $1 billion, less than the 5 million shares. Who knows how much that was back in the day? Maybe it was 3 million shares because their stocks have gone down. So it's a smaller investment that he had in Disney just 2 years ago. But people know in the investment world, and people know that Loeb knows what he's doing. He's got credibility. So Disney is going to be defending themselves. We've heard about the investment from Loeb and his investors, a couple weeks ago. We're going to be hearing a lot more about it, and there's going to be a conflict. Chapek, because of their ridiculous push to fight with the state of Florida, as if a company could fight with a state, they lost their decades-long favorable tax status. You probably heard about this because of Governor Ron DeSantis saying, no, you're attacking a law that was passed by the public, and Disney is saying they're going to do everything they can to overturn the law. You do stuff like that, that's fine, but going to war, what was the point in the first place of Disney even going to war? How does that help shareholders to go to war with the state of Florida? That's the kind of question I think that Loeb would like an answer to. I don't know the answer to it. I don't know why fight when the state of Florida was supposed to make money for investors. And beyond that, risking the tax status at Disney, I've talked about this before, but it makes me hysterical because you don't even know how much money that equals. They can't even plan what they want to do at the park at any of the parks in Florida anymore. All of it, first of all, maybe they're going to get some arrangement with Florida. They don't know what's going to happen. So that could be on the order of tens of billions of dollars lost. If nothing else, it limits their business opportunities there. Everything is going to be more expensive. The management that they need to approve projects in Florida doesn't even exist. It's not even all figured out. Even if they said, okay, we're going to lose the money, sorry, we apologize, and Florida says, fine, but you're not going to get your tax status back. Okay, fine, let's move forward together. Well, there's decisions that have to be still made. They completely blew everything up at Disney just over trying to be woke. So it really makes you wonder, is this guy Chapek going to stay at Disney, and for how long? Because Loeb has a really good argument. He has not brought up anything about wokeness yet. Just talking about the expertise and the experience and essentially insulting inadvertently, insulting the existing board members, saying you guys lack the experience to do what you need to do because your results are down, your stock is down, things need to get turned around. So you can let me know in your comments below if you think Disney needs to be turned around. And you can also let me know if you think this guy Loeb is the real deal. I mean, I'm going to put links to these articles. You tell me and show me where he's not the real deal, where he doesn't deliver on things, Now, just as another important point about all this, just today I came across this article from Bounding Into Comics, great website. Rumor, Marvel to bring back Chris Evans as Captain America in order to distance the character from his uncomfortable patriotism facets. Uncomfortable patriotism facets. Right. So we wouldn't want Captain America to be patriotic, even though Captain America has always been patriotic. But why would we continue to want him to be? Because he's going to get stolen by conservatives. According to a new rumor, Marvel is so concerned that the character of Captain America has been stolen by conservatives that they will soon be returning Chris Evans to the role because they replaced him with a black guy, which is fine, a black character, a black actor to be the new Captain America, in order to have him specifically distance the Star-Spangled Adventures from what they consider to be his uncomfortable patriotism facets. So they need to undermine the brand. We've got to bring this guy back, undermine the brand of what we think Captain America should be, which is, to honestly, if it's for commercial reasons, if they can show you, like, look, this is very important. This version of Captain America is going to make the character have no value. We can't have that. Okay, but what do you mean, socially redeeming value or money value? Because it doesn't seem like it's about social redeeming value. It seems like it's about it's about nonsense. This supposedly is a hint to the MCU's future, was put forth by WDW Pro for That Park Place Entertainment. Okay, this is a great website. This was just, they put this out yesterday. Is Marvel bringing back Chris Evans for Captain America to disown MAGA? That's Trump's Make America Great Again. And it was told to them by 3 solid sources. The first claimed had reached out several months ago to inform that Marvel was potentially looking to do a new Captain America show or movie that would see both Anthony Mackie and Chris Evans somehow sharing the Captain America mantle, explicitly noting that they had sat on the rumor because of politically volatile news. They then recalled how they were told the reason for bringing back Chris Evans as Steve Rogers potentially was because some at Marvel were concerned that Captain America was being used by conservatives and MAGA types as a pro-nationalist superhero icon. Well, I mean, he's Captain America. It's right there in the name. He's for America. Reportedly, Kevin Feige was open to doing a project in which both versions of Captain America would come together somehow to repudiate the perceived negative aspects of America while still finding a cause to believe in, they wrote. The leaders of the MCU reportedly disliked that they did not address the issue before Chris Evans retired from the character. They felt that having an African-American version of the character bear such a burden alone was unfair, because you don't want to associate any negativity with anybody who is not Captain America like Chris Evans. You can dump all the negativity on Chris Evans. Everybody's happy. I mean, I'm going to put a link to this article. You can check it out. I mean, it's really out of control. I will say this much. If you want to do ideological stuff and it makes money, God bless. Go do it. That makes sense. It's good for the investors. It's honest. If you want to do this for social purposes, for ideological personal purposes, because you don't like these people, so you want to downgrade those people in some way and diminish them, but you can't show directly how it's a good financial investment, I feel it's very inappropriate, and I'd love to see your thoughts on it in the comments below. All right, I will give you links to all of this. I will see you again soon in another video, and if I don't see you, I will miss you. And don't forget to subscribe.